So we'll start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Vesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming. So we'll continue reading the discussions, the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. So let's recapitulate what we discussed last week before we start reading today's topics, because those topics, today's topic is basically about Sanatana Dharma, Sanatana There are two words, Sanatana and Dharma. So we'll discuss what is Sanatana Dharma means. So we saw in the last few weeks that Krishna, being the absolute truth, is a person. Prabhupada is mentioning that Krishna.
Absolute truth. Yeah, there's a new concept called like absolute truth that got introduced in the last class. So Srimad Bhagavatam defines absolute truth as that from which everything else originates. And so absolute truth, what is the opposite of absolute truth? Relative truth, right? So relative truth is the truth which is true only in certain conditions, only at a particular time, only, there's a fixed frame in which it will be true. So all the truths that we see in this world around us, mostly they're all relative truths. Whether it is changing of seasons or something, relations, everything is relative. So something that is not relative is absolute truth. It has to be true everywhere, for everyone, at all times to come. So, and it is the source of all other truths. All the relative truths, it is coming from there. It's dependent on that absolute truth. So what is this conception of absolute truth? So that is, Prabhupada is telling us, and even Srimad Bhagavatam says, Lord, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the absolute truth. Yeah,
So also we saw that Krishna's form, we saw that form is always superior to a formless. And this is basically to refute the theory of the Mayavad. They say it's an impersonal feature is superior to the or they don't have a conception of a personal feature of the Lord. We see in this material world both personal and impersonal. So that means that Lord should also have both personal and impersonal feature of he should have, but the personal form of his feature is superior to the impersonal form or formless. For the form like Archa Vigraha, like worshipping Archa Vigraha is more superior to the thinking like something in a voidism, like other religion of the world like Islam and things. So okay, we also saw that a God can be realized in three aspects. Do you remember what were the three transcendental features that God can be realized? So, there
are three ways, three levels of realization of the absolute.
So we saw the example of samosa. Yeah. What was that?
Yeah. First it is
uh-huh. Okay.
Right.
I think Brahman is the first level of realization.
That's very true. That's very true. So the transcendental features that we were, and even it says that Satchidananda, right? We are also Satchidananda. Like we know that, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead and Jiva, there is one similarity. What is the similarity? We are equal in?
But not in quantity.
Yeah, equal in quality, not in quantity. So we are also Satchidananda, Lord is also Satchidananda, and the realization also happens in how you realize the features of the Lord, the realization happens. So what happens if you realize the God at the Sat level, it is the first level of realization, which is the Brahman realization, right? The second level is Sat Chit. So what is Sat? Sat means eternity, right? So we are going to discuss that more in the Sanatana Dharma. So Chit is the knowing it, knowledge feature of it, which is basically what happens if you know the knowledge feature of it, which level of realization you get. You said Sat is Brahman. Yeah, Paramatma feature. Right. And
inside everyone, and that is the preliminary understanding that the absolute truth has a personality, because the yogis see the Paramatma as a Vishnu's four-handed form. They see the Paramatma as a four-handed form, basically. So there they get the first knowledge that the absolute truth is a person. Preliminary knowledge. Yeah. And above that is the Bhagavan realization, where you are fully aware of the qualities of the Lord, pastimes, names, forms, everything. So that is the ultimate realization of the, that's the highest. Yeah, and there's another example using which we can do that. One is given here, right? Sun. Using
Sun
the
and
example of sun, we can find out. So, some people can perceive sun only as sunlight. They don't know anything beyond that. For them, sun means only sunshine. That's like the impersonal Brahman.
like if you are sitting in this room,
Yeah.
can we see sun anywhere? But we say sun is entering, right? Sun is coming. In the what form we are seeing it? In the form of the light.
So, yeah. But is that the complete understanding of sun? No. And then further advanced, somebody who is further advanced in knowledge, they know that sun is a globe or a star as we know it, right? And it's a very hot globe, it has hot gases, from there it is coming. So that is the next level of knowledge, and it is better than just knowing the sunshine. So that is like the Paramatma realization. It's a slightly higher realization than Brahman realization. But the ultimate realization of the sun is what? To see it as a planet which has an inhabitant who has a controlling deity called the sun god or Vivaswan. For our Manmantra, it's Vivaswan. So knowing that is the ultimate realization of sun. So similarly, knowing the personal form of Krishna, his two-handed form, playing the flute with a peacock feather, having pastimes with his loving devotees, that is the ultimate realization of the absolute truth.
So we saw the example of samosa last week, right? So let's say that, I'm just going to say that if we telling you in advance that if you go to the temple, there is samosa will be served. Okay, just by thinking about samosa itself, we are able to realize, okay, what is samosa? You are already into that thought of realizing, okay, you are having samosa. Okay, what happens if you go to the temple? So that is the first level of realization or knowing it,
Maybe
right?
you are entering the temple and you're smelling the samosa.
Smelling the samosa, right?
So that's the first experience of samosa you have. Yeah.
And what happens? Let's say that Veera Prabhu does service and he says that, okay, Veera Prabhu just to serve samosa only. So he's able to only touch it, see it. So that's the second level where you can see if it's crisp, it is hot. Okay, that is the second level of realization, which is the Paramatma realization. When are you going to get the best? When are you going to have the best? When you eat it, right? So that is when you get Ananda. So this all comes, Satchit Ananda, it comes in a sequence, and each the successor has already the preceding things in it actually. So when you eat it, you are able to smell it, you are able to see it, you are able to touch it and taste it also, right? So that's the realization. So that's why the personal feature of worshipping the Lord or realizing Bhagavan or realizing the supreme truth in the Bhagavan feature is the best. So what others miss out, what impersonalists miss out, what the Gyanis miss out, what Dhyanis miss out is doesn't missed out by the Bhaktas. Because all these things Bhaktas already have it actually. Okay. We also saw that, I want to focus on this part, that if you feel any kind of incompleteness is because of our experience with which we are not able to perceive the complete knowledge. If somebody is just thinking that the Brahman is a supreme realization, he has an incomplete realization of understanding the Supreme Lord actually. So that was what we discussed. Also, we saw that the message of Bhagavad Gita is to basically what? Revive our relationship with Krishna. So that is the key message of the Bhagavad Gita. So that's what I'm just going through the paragraphs that we drew, what all we read last week, because some of the paragraphs we went a little fast and also... Huh? Complete Hurala?
Yeah. So actually we started, before last class we stopped at the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. So the next paragraph which says that all the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita that we have seen so far, these are the complete whole. Basically, this is everything that exists. And that complete whole is equal to the Supreme Absolute Truth, that is equal to the personality of Krishna. So basically, everything is either Krishna or Krishnas. Right? So we have Krishna, his incarnations, Vishnu Tattvas, everyone. They are all Krishna. Everything apart from that is actually Krishna's energy. Living entities we have already seen. We are marginal energy. Material nature is inferior energy. Time is an energy of the Lord, and karma is actually happening because of all these things. Because it's all possible only because of the Lord and His energies only. So actually nothing is independent of Him. Nothing is independent, so He is the final word, He is the absolute truth, that is ultimate reality, nothing beyond that. So we started like that, and then
But karma is like not eternal, right? It is individual who does it gets
right,
the karma. So
right.
it is that the action which we do is karma. It is not eternal.
It is not eternal, but the thing is, what is driving the karma? Like, what is making the karma possible? Krishna is the super soul, sanctions it. Otherwise, we can't do. So basically, and we'll read in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita that karma is actually carried out by modes of material nature. The jiva only desires. Rest all thing, the karma is carried out because super soul is sanctioning, material nature is carrying it out.
To even to have karma manifest, you needed. We'll read in the. We may not read, but in the if you get to know more about how the cosmic manifestation is created, it is a time which is propelling the karmas on all of us. Actually, when the creation happens, when we go into the unmanifest stage, that there is no karma. Everybody is in a kind of a frozen state. Actually, so when again manifestation happens, we'll see the time is used like a ladle to mix the karma among all the jivas accordingly what we have done in the past. So, and time is controlled by Krishna.
And even the laws of karma, the karma you do, the result you get, everything is in Krishna's hand actually. Krishna made the laws of the karma also, right? So if you say everything is very tightly controlled and it is controlled by Krishna and his energies only. Otherwise, if without outside of this karma is not possible at all. So that way, that's how it fits into the entire picture. That's how it is, it's a part of the complete whole. And again, it is only by the mercy of Krishna that this is all happening.
Then we saw, then now Prabhupada is now, once he's mentioned about the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is to basically revive our relationship, then he is emphasizing on the fact that the Vedic knowledge is infallible or it has got no flaws. Why it has no flaws? Why it came from the Lord. That's why it has got no flaws. Prabhupada also gives an analogy which may be very hard to believe even coming from an Indian background is the analogy of a cow dung actually. In Veda it is mentioned that cow dung is the, if you touch any other form of stool, you have to be impure. Even as we have to take shower after we go to the rest. Yeah. So, but cow dung is pure. It's already mentioned in Vedas. Many years it is. What the knowledge of Vedas is coming from Krishna Himself. So that is eternal. So it is not going to change. Today you have something. Tomorrow it is going to change. So cow dung has been mentioned as an antiseptic many millions of years, or there is no time frame that is known to us. So also Prabhupada mentions that how the Vedic knowledge should be received. The Vedic knowledge should be received in what? How we have to receive? Huh? Parampara, disciplic succession. He also gives the importance why you have to receive in the disciplic succession, because the message first remains the same. Nobody has kind of tampered or had a chance to change it. Okay, and it is originating from Krishna himself.
So even if there are some contradictions, apparent contradictions in the Vedas, we should just accept it because it's coming from Krishna, and we should have that faith that it is perfect. So this cow dung example that Prabhupada is giving, even though stool is considered impure, just because the Vedas say that it is pure, the cow's dung is pure, we should accept it without any doubt. And then he also makes a point that after so many years, this knowledge has been existing from so long. Only now, recently, scientists are finding the benefits of cow dung. Very recently. I mean, in India, it is like we take it for granted, right? Even the most illiterate person will purify his house with cow dung and cow urine. In villages, we'll put cow dung in our patios and other things, right? So this is something that we should just accept. And like over the years, as we saw, Vedic knowledge is revealed, right? When we are When the time is right, when we have the right qualification, it's revealed. So then our faith becomes reaffirmed. But we should begin with the initial faith that Vedas are coming from the Supreme Lord. In fact, Vedas are the breathing of Lord Narayana. So we must not doubt it at all.
So the underlying, the bottom line is that, so the Vedic wisdom cannot be judged by our mundane knowledge or our perception. What we see, we cannot, like the example is the cow dung actually. You can see other forms of stools are the abominable, but cow dung is considered pure. But if you look from our senses, they are the same actually. They are eating and they are passing on, but what's the difference? But cow dung, it's stated in Vedas means that's true. So why, can somebody help recall why our perceptions are may not be right? Because
We have so many defects.
okay, how many defects we have?
Yeah, like hospital, intelligence.
Those are the coverings of the soul.
There are 4 kinds of defects. Okay, it is
The understanding defects and
so there are 4 defects. We will go in a sequence. What is that? Yeah,
Yeah. Are our senses perfect?
our senses are imperfect senses, right? We cannot, whatever we see may not be the right thing, right? Yeah.
It
Or
may not be complete also. Like many things are not accessible to our senses. Certain frequencies,
We cannot hear.
light and sound we can't hear or see, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So our senses work only in limited conditions actually.
there are so many so many,
Behind the wall, in the dark, we can't see in the dark.
or even here also there are how many types of signals we have here. You have satellite signal, you have cell phone signal and things like that. There are so many things are transmitting here and there, but we cannot see that, right? So what happens if our senses are not perfect?
what we perceive is
Right, illusion, right?
Yeah.
You might have seen many times, like I can show you a bigger picture of this, but this is a static thing, but if you keep looking at it, you will see each circle is rotating, right? So what is that? Does it even rotating? No, but it is causes us illusion actually, right? So once illusion causes, then what we do? We
Yeah, believe and further, believe and
believe and let's say you believe and do what? Okay,
yeah, we act on it.
act on it.
What is that when we act on a wrong foundation? It's a mistake.
So we commit mistakes, right? See, even just to give an example, when 2 guys are building a bridge on the 2 sides, they may just go by offshoot actually because their senses are imperfect. Right? It's a rivalry. Huh?
It's a real one.
Yeah.
maybe not this picture, but it's
So,
so people started from getting each other second.
yeah. So we commit mistakes. So what happens immediately? So let's say that there are 2 sides. Okay, one side is saying we were right, other side is saying other side is wrong. So what happens? What is the 4th thing? What is the 4th defect we have? Once we commit mistake, we have
Result of making mistakes. What do we do immediately?
fight,
Try to
tendency to cheat. We'll say we are right,
Yeah,
right?
we didn't do it. We didn't do it.
We didn't do it, right? So we say that we are, and also this is a very famous thing. To err is human, actually. This was said in I think 17th or 18th century. Also, it is said that to forgive is also divine. So, okay, so we discussed that Vedas are infallible and our senses are whatever. We have 4 kinds of defects. So whatever the knowledge we will gather is not going to be the right one. So the perfect way to receive the knowledge is by the process of becoming the disciplic succession, which is a descending process. So somebody who at a higher level has already seen it and they are passing the knowledge. So there is no chance of having any defects in that. Okay.
If there is a descending knowledge, descending process, there should be an ascending process also. What is that ascending process? No, that is descending because descending it's coming down, right? So somebody higher authority has told us, we just accept it. So what is the opposite of that? Ascending process. What can be that ascending process?
Look at the second. No,
No,
look at,
see, so first descending, coming down process is some higher authorities telling us, so we just accept it. You know, that's how we do most of the things we do. But there's another way. The going up way, what can be the going up way?
Towards the knowledge.
Yeah,
yeah.
towards knowledge
So,
only.
so the process of acquiring knowledge is known as epistemology. Okay. So one process is descending, where somebody at a higher up, who is superior to you, is saying that this is what is exist. What is the other way? Even you can talk in your child, in your children's life, right? You say something because you have realized something. What is the other way that child can learn?
Yeah.
Experience or trying to find out on his
On
own.
your own. So learning on your own strength. So which is the best out of two? Descending is always easier and more correct. Because why? Why?
The time is not enough.
Yes, that is
We
true.
cannot do it completely.
Exactly. And why ascending process can fail?